Hi there all, this is the zinc carbon cell, third 1 hour charge, second day. The temperature of the cell is 35.6 after an hour, and this little tub of water is just an ambient test, and that's 31, so we're about 4 or 5 degrees above. I think this little tub has suspended nanoparticles. Maybe. That was the 20 hours of carbon grinding in the ball mill, and that's just excess water, and that's been sitting there all day, murky. So this cell's come up to nearly an hour's charge time. Oh. I'll have the meters on, volt meter set on the 20 range, and the amp meter set on the 200 milliamp. Oh, no it's not. It's set on the 10 amp range at the moment. We're getting 310 milliamps, and we're at 59 minutes and 50 seconds. I've got a lid on the jar. Okay, that's 1 hour's charge. Let's reset the timer. Okay, what are we? 2.4 volts and dropping. Okay, for a short in it on the 10 amp range. 270 milliamps. I'll just swap ranges now to the 200 milliamp range, and we'll connect and discharge the motor for a bit. See what we get. Connecting, got the right lead. Yes, that is the right lead. We're at 1.5 volts, 90 milliamps. That's not bad. You hear the motor? And the sad truth about my poor plastic electrode is this tiny little electrode whoops its ass. That's out of a small, I don't know, C cell or something, and that's my plastic. I found that out today when I bought a lantern candle battery, and brand new, and disassembled it and pulled the electrode out and put the plastic carbon one in, and it dropped from 1.5 volts to 0.55 with the load on it. And then I substituted that plastic carbon with this little piece and only just sort of submerged it into the manganese oxide, and 1.5 volts running that motor. So 6 ohms on your electrode's probably not a very good idea, so most of those videos could be upped a little bit if you used the proper carbon. Yeah. So the cell's not too bad, it's still at 1 volt, and we're at 1 minute 30. And 55 milliamps. That's still with this. It gets better with a better electrode. That motor's really rocking, and voltage is holding up pretty well. So it's the third 1 hour, and it's had 2 half-hour charges and discharges, and 1 left for an hour, and about half the power from its charge, but it still ran the 12 milliamps for a half hour after 1 hour idle after a charge. But that could be a lot to do with this having 6 or 7 ohms or more. Measured 6 with the or 7 with the probes, and we're still doing 49 milliamps at 2 minutes 45. Well, this cell has blown all the other cells out of the water. This is that Fullerene cell. That's on par with that one, and it's smaller and has less carbon. When they're both left for a day or two, 60 something milliamps on a short circuit. And this one's got the zinc right around it. And that cell's zinc is no bigger than this aluminium cell. No carbon on the zinc. Bad idea. So that's pure zinc, carbon on the carbon. So I've got a coating of carbon on the plastic in there, and that carbon is the bred Fullerene carbon. The scrapings. This is its other aluminium cell counterpart, so I could scrape that off and recycle them, because I only got that much scrapings. And we're still at 0.87 at 4 minutes 28. That's holding well. I'm going to try some copper and the zinc. Have some nice little thin bits of copper. I've ordered some graphite plate, 3mm thick. I've been coating the this piece of paper, dipping it in the 40 hours grinding carbon, but it's still like 200k ohms. Just a piece of paper. Haven't tried it out yet. Got its counterpart soaking in Epsom salts, but it seems to be waterproof too much. I think too much binder. We're at 535 and 0.81 volts holding. This has some stuff floating around the top. Maybe you can get that on there. I also tried dipping the paper in that stuff, but Ohms reading was the same. This carbon doesn't seem to be too conductive at all when ground up. Seems to be better when it's ground up. It's really thin though. There's no scraping on the glass, so I can't tell yet. I'll wash it later when it all dries out. I did it wet in the ball mill for 40 hours. I think tin and zinc also go well together, so there's been a few cells made. So that's another metal to look into. I recycled all the other little pieces from the 16 carbon experiment. Made these two carbon pads, but they're also 7 ohms, so it's probably, I don't know, not worth using. They're super slippery, so I've made like super slippery pad. I put the probes on there and it's continuously slipping off. I think I made one of those furniture removing things that you put down in the slides. So that's the ink there. I mean, not ink, it's just the carbon. You don't even need it ink, it sticks. It's that fine. See? And the ball mill held up for 40 hours, not straight. I ran it for about 5 or 6 hours a day, some longer. And I had to add a little fan on a 36-degree day just to help cool the motor. It was getting warm. But for that little size motor, not too bad. And we're at 9 minutes and 0.67. We're slowly dropping in the milli amps, so well, I'll probably leave that at that, and thanks for watching.